Thank you to Thomas Moreira for these 5 suggestions. Hello everybody, this is JT Productions and welcome back to another preview and prediction video. Today I'll be doing the East Carolina Pirates. Let's get her going. Last season, East Carolina went 7-5, 5-3 in the American with wins against Tulane, Memphis, and Navy to be the quality wins. Their losses were really not that bad. They lost by 3 to South Carolina, by 4 to UCF. They got blown out by App State and blown out by Cincinnati and lost in overtime to Houston. So not bad. They had their bowl game canceled against Boston College by, I believe, because of COVID. Not completely sure. Anyways, let's see what my notes say about East Carolina. So, this is Mike Houston's 4th season coaching the Pirates of East Carolina. The team has progressively gotten better over the last couple of years, been in the conversation a lot more, been in the headlines a lot more, And they got some quality transfers in the transfer portal this past season. And wide receiver Jalen Johnson from Georgia, offensive tackle Parker Moorer from West Virginia, defensive tackle Shaldry Mims from Charleston Southern, linebacker Jack Powers from Nevada, and safety Jordan Huff from Hutchinson Community College. So, besides the transfers, how does their roster stack up? Well, they got a senior quarterback in Holton Ahlers. Their running back situation could be better. They have sophomores at positions. They have Keaton Mitchell, who I believe was pretty good last year. Wide receivers, they have juniors at every starting position, it looks like. Tight end, Ryan Jones, a graduate transfer. Offensive line, you have transfer in Parker Moore, like I said. Besides that, you have juniors and sophomores, so we'll see how that goes. Defensively, your front 7, your linebackers, you have seniors and juniors. Your defensive line, you have a junior and 2 sophomores, and your secondary, you have juniors and sophomores. So, some young mixed with some proven talent. So, let's see how your schedule is going to go. Week 1, you have one of your biggest games in East Carolina history with North Carolina State coming to your stadium in Greenville. This is going to be a big game. East Carolina is going to want so bad to win this game for state superiority over NC State for at least a year. NC State comes in with one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC in Devin Leary. They did lose their 2 running backs in Bam Knight and I forget the other guy's name. Defense should be pretty good, and offensive line should be pretty good for NC State. All around the board, NC State should be a pretty good team. Now, when it comes to this game, anything can happen in Week 1. We saw it last year with North Carolina losing on the road to Virginia Tech when they were hyped up to be this big, great team with Sam Howell. I don't think NC State's going to stumble as bad as North Carolina did. I do think this is going to be a very close game, however. I'm going to give NC State the win. However, it's going to be a hard-fought win. East Carolina starts out 0-1. Then you play Old Dominion. Old Dominion is, I believe, they're new to the Sun Belt, if I'm not wrong. I know that they moved conferences from the Conference USA. I believe they joined the Sun Belt. Anyways, I think you'll beat Old Dominion. Old Dominion has been a team to where they've been up and down. They beat Virginia Tech in 2020, I believe. Or 2019, but I don't know. I think you'll get the win there. So you 1-1, and then you play Campbell. You should win that one as well. So you're 2-1. Then you play Navy. Navy, they're a very disciplined team, run the triple option. However, with a 4th-year head coach, you should be at least ready for Navy. I think you get a close-fought win against Navy to start out 3-1. Then you go on the road to Tampa to take on South Florida. South Florida, one of the worst teams in the American this year. You should easily get the win there. Then you go on the road to Tulane. Tulane, very good team. They still have Michael Pratt, quarterback, and they got some transfers in they got a lot of transfers in that can help their team. It's in New Orleans. There's been a lot of crazy things happen at Tulane, at Ullman Stadium in New Orleans. And I think that this is going to happen here. With back-to-back road games, even the first one being against not a good team, it's still difficult to come out 2-0 from back-to-back road games. I think you lose on the road at Tulane, and you are 4-2. Then you play Memphis. Memphis, decent team. They've kind of been regressing the last couple of years. But I do think you'll get the win. Memphis, like I said, been regressing. They do have talent, but I think you are better coached and have a little bit more talent than they do. So that brings you to 5-2 before you stay home to play the Knights of UCF. UCF, they have a new quarterback in. They have a lot of new pieces on offense and defense. Gus Malzahn, good offensive head coach. Can he come to Greenville, North Carolina, a very hostile environment for the American, and get a win? I don't think so. I think you get a win here, and you are 6-2 before you go on the road for one of your biggest road games on your schedule at BYU in Provo. BYU is going to have one of the best quarterbacks in the Power 5, or in the FBS. And, what's his name? One of the best in, what's his name? It starts with a J. I'll think of it in a second. Anyways, they have a very good quarterback, a very great coach team. BYU's the top team that beats the bigger teams, but slips up against teams like East Carolina. Teams with everything to gain and nothing to lose. By this point, East Carolina would have gained bowl eligibility. I think they go to Provo and get a big upset over BYU right before their bye week. I think this is going to be a big win for East Carolina and a very humiliating loss for BYU, who at this point may have one or no losses. So, after your bye week, you have to go on the road again to Cincinnati to take on the Bearcats. I think Cincinnati's going to take a step or two backwards this year after being pretty much the champion of the Group of 5 last year. But coming off a win like that against BYU, who could be ranked at that point in the top 10 or something like that, I think you slip up against Cincinnati. Cincinnati, very, very great coach team by, I'm blanking on names today. I'm sorry. Anyways, they're a very good coach team. And I think you drop this one in Cincinnati to go to 7-3 before playing Houston. Houston, another good team, very physical. And I think this is going to be a situation to where a team beats you twice. That loss to Cincinnati the week before carries over to Houston, and Houston pours it on to make you 7-4 before you go on the road for your final game against Temple. And I think you get the win there. Temple, mediocre to middle of the ground American team. Nowhere near the likes of East Carolina right now. So there you have it. I think the East Carolina Pirates go 8-4, pretty good for the program standards. Get a pretty good bowl bid, maybe to like the Birmingham Bowl or something like that to play. Maybe even Auburn. That's their second home after all. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And All of these games will be on multiple playlists on my channel, so if you'd like to go watch any other from any other conference, just go there and they'll be there. Anyways, thank you all so much, and Go Dogs.